I'm the fuck out. I didn't even get started on what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Bro, that movie was crazy.
Crazy, Frankie. Yeah.
I was like, what are specials tonight?
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Hey everybody, Specialist in Nothing, back at you again, talking about everything, specializing in nothing. My name is Frank. As always, Joe and Danny, you guys want to say what's up?
What up? What up?
How you doing?
So, first thing is first. I'm saying this right off the bat because I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. We can get into it in a second. Danny made a fucking TikTok, y'all.
Oh,
I got him to make a TikTok profile. Danny Esco Designs, right? Is that what it is?
I believe so. I don't even know.
Danny Esco Designs. I love it. He's posted his artwork. We got him out there. It's doing pretty well, to be honest with you. So everybody go follow him. Y'all know I'm a big TikToker and I'm all about that. We're trying to get Danny out there for his artwork.
Yeah, so, Danny Esco Designs. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But and that's my Instagram too.
Yeah.
Check out that IG. You know what I'm saying? Danny Esco Designs. Danny
anybody
Esco
that's
Designs.
Interested in his artwork, any of that stuff, please hit my boy up.
Appreciate it.
Now that we got that out the way,
we have to get this one more thing out the way.
Oh, what?
Joe's not here tonight.
Well, see, it's funny. I did that last time when you weren't here with Joe too. I don't know why.
You didn't. You didn't. You skipped
I forgot.
Right over me. You totally forgot that I was here.
No, but that's what I mean. I just totally forgot, and I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what it is that I just forget to do that when one of us is missing. I guess I'm just so used to like getting right into it and whatever.
Have all three of us there?
Yeah, I don't know. But unfortunately, life happens sometimes, and we can't all always make every single arrangement. So
you do what we can, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get it done tonight.
I gotta say, now that Joe's not here, I'm kind of excited to talk about this topic because Joe is just a non-believer in anything possible that has something to do with like.
See, but I don't really believe this topic.
Anything that the government and media is not telling him. And I'm like, no way, bro, no way.
I mean, I get what you're saying to be just dismissive and not even think of the idea. I get that.
He doesn't even have.
But I don't necessarily think this was an inside thing either. I do think that we had things that influenced the terrorists to do this. Like, I do think there's things that we could have done differently to prevent it, maybe. But it was from our actions that made them have these actions. But I do think it was a real thing. Like, I don't think it was necessarily an inside job.
So I believe that 9/11 was an inside job. Obviously, yes, it did happen. It was devastating. Almost 3,000 people lost their lives in one day. That's a huge hit, especially in our backyard in New York City. That shit hit everybody, whether you're in Long Island, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan, Queens.
Any part of like the city of New York, you saw the smoke, you saw the rubble, you saw the dust. And I wasn't here at the time when it happened. I was actually living in Vegas, but my wife was in Brooklyn at school. My dad is local 3. He was working in Manhattan, like a few blocks away. My dad got some crazy pictures because he was on like the 50th floor that day or like the 30th floor, like something crazy. And he got some crazy pictures that were almost eye level, like with the planes, like as they were coming into the building and stuff like that. And I remember him showing me, it was chilling, just like terrifying is literally the word, because like, dude, imagine being one of those people in that building
or on that plane.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, that's just like the parents or whoever like hugging their kids, it's gonna be okay, and you in your head know it's not. Like, that's the most terrifying feeling in the world. I'm so like I don't think I could think of anything worse than being in that moment.
There's a lot of like, oh, I would have done this, or they should have done this. Like, you're not there, you don't know what's going on, you're not in that situation, you freeze up. But I mean, I thought about it a bunch of times, more so in recent years, because when I was younger, it was just, you didn't think about things like this. What would you have done if you were on that plane? You know, like, first of all, if they got on the plane and they went through security and all this stuff, and they didn't have anything like a gun, let's say, and let's just say it was a knife or a piece of broken glass, whatever the case was. The only thing I'm thinking could have happened is they took hostages, and they were like, if anybody moves, I'll kill this person.
Yeah.
Which obviously you can't risk a life, but I mean, if enough people, if like a couple guys who are like bigger and ready to fight, gang up.
I was just saying, if you all charge him at once, he can't take everyone. So it's like, some people may get hurt or whatever, but it's a small sacrifice compared to 3,000 or whatever, and it happening. No, I hear you.
But like, even the person, let's just say they grabbed the person around the neck and they were holding something to their neck. That person who's being held, I don't know, to be honest. Obviously, we weren't there, but just hold the hand so it doesn't stab you in the neck and let the other people just bum rush him.
It depends on the person too. It depends on the demeanor of the person.
Could have been a kid.
Physicality of the person. I was just saying, it could have been a child. It could have been a woman. It could have been anything different, So again, exactly. We don't know. We weren't there. That was the best part of how you could have said that. And that's the biggest thing too, because even like not on the same scale. Trust me, I know this to everyone listening. But even when I was in like asset protection, right? And you go to stop people that are stealing all the time. Like I've had knives pulled on me. I've gotten into scuffles with people, this and that. And
like, every situation. Nowhere near.
No, I know. But listen to my point. But every situation is different, and you don't know what you're gonna do. And there was certain times when I made stops to people that I've been like, "Fuck, I wish I did this." Like, damn it, I could have done this, and that would have helped me, or whatever. Yeah. And exactly. So, exactly like you said, when you're in the moment, fight or flight takes over. And you don't know. Sometimes, you get a little hesitant, or you skip that moment that you had a chance to do something, and then it passes, or sometimes you do, or whatever. So in this case, they did succeed. But
you're right. People get real scared, especially when they're in groups together, because most people look for one person to delegate what goes on. They look for a leader.
Well, what's the saying? One person with a gun can control 100 people or something like that.
I don't know the saying.
I think it's something like that. One person with a gun can control 100 people, or a crowd of 100 people, or something like that. And
even if the gun's not loaded, probably,
I'm just saying, if you think about it, like, it's just the fear, that's all it is.
Let's just put this as a hypothetical. Let's say you and I were on a plane that happened to get hijacked. There's other people on the plane, obviously. And let's say there is somebody holding a hostage. Most planes have one aisle these days, unless you're on like, I don't know, Emirates Airline. We have luxury seats in the front, and there's two aisles with like a movie theater screen. But what I'm saying is, let's say there was two aisles, right? And you and I were like, fuck this. No, not on my plane. Get these damn motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane. And it's just like, all right, so you take left lane, I'll take right lane, and we just go towards them. Most people, if you start hyping up and you're like, let's go, let's fucking go, and you charge towards them, well, other people would join in, hopefully, but then there's people who are like, wait, no, don't do anything, listen to him. And I get it. I only made that voice because I didn't know what else to do, but like, I'm sure people don't actually, well, maybe they do sound like it, but it's like, other people would
person
be like,
saying that would definitely sound something like that. No, don't.
Get back in your seat and listen to him.
What are you doing? You're going to make it worse.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. People would think that, like, just listen to whatever they say. And I'm like, no, because if we listen to whatever they say, 9/11 happened. Yep. You got to stand up. And I'm not saying fucking suicide, but if you think you could take somebody, or if there's a few people who are going to gather together, you got to fucking take charge.
That's I'm sure it wasn't just one person, though. I'm sure they had multiple people on the plane that were, and I'm sure that they had because think about it. If you're going to hijack a plane, you have to have everyone scared in order to control the whole plane. Fear is the only way you're going to control that situation. So you got to do something scary enough to where you're controlling everyone. Who knows? They didn't just kill someone right away. Who knows? They didn't just kill someone and say, okay, anybody else is going to be next. And now you just saw someone die in front of you. That changes you up. Again, we don't know what happened exactly. So they had to take over the plane with fear. Number two, you're going to be smart enough to have a well thought out plan. You probably got some people sitting in the seats that are on your side that aren't in the whole thing. So if some people do stand up like that, they're in the middle of it to kind of help you now with some break. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there's many different reasons on why it ended up going through.
Trying to be prejudiced or racist when I say this, but like, if you see for what it was, let's say on each plane there was 8 terrorists. Let's just call it 8 for whatever the fuck it was. and these guys have turbans and beards,
Yeah, but see,
you're gonna
we
start
weren't
looking around in the crowd to
we
be like,
weren't
all right,
scared of that until 9/11.
you're right.
Once
but I'm
9/11
saying- no,
happened,
no,
then
but
people started looking out for. And
I'm just saying, let's say you're on the plane and there's 8 people, and all these people who are terrorists who are showing, let's say like 4 of them are showing themselves, and they look like they have turbans and beards. You're gonna start scoping out the rest of the seats to be like, who else could be affiliated?
Yeah,
And
you
again,
could be,
not to
but
be,
then
like,
again, in
prejudiced
that
towards
panicky
it.
moment, you're gonna look at that person and be like, "Are they? Are they not?
Yeah,
are
but
they,
then
are they
but
not?"
even to
and if
yourself,
they're
you
and
keep
if
it to
they're a good
yourself.
enough actor, I'm saying, but if they're a good enough actor and they're pretending to be panicked too, you might be like, "Okay, no, they're definitely not one of them. They may look like."
But
them,
you could
they're not."
also be
You
like,
don't know.
I guess so. I mean,
Adrenaline, bro, it's fucked
no,
you
I
up.
feel it, but
It really
adrenaline
fucks you
also is what gets you going.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. People have fight or flight. Some of them might have fought. Some of them might have.
And like I said, it had to be something. Everybody had to be scared. Like the only way they're controlling that situation is with fear.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
This is
So
true.
whatever it was that they did inside that plane, they had to be controlling that plane with fear. You know, oh, I
But
have a
another
bomb.
thing
I
that drives
have
me
this,
crazy is like, after they did back. First of all right, I'll get to this in a second. After they did background checks on these 19 terrorists that they found, somehow they found out each and every one of them. They found a fucking passport on the street when supposedly metal beams were melted by jet fuel. So for a second there, let's just be like, oh, out of all the rubble, you found a fucking passport with the terrorist, not Jane Doe, the random seat in fucking 13A. No. So whatever, that kind of threw me off at first. But what I'm getting at is, what the fuck was I getting at?
You're getting into the inside.
Oh, okay. So after they did the background check and stuff, they found out that these terrorists took lessons on flying within a year time of this happening. And they only learned how to take off and fly. They never learned how to land. I don't know how true that is, but let's just say that is true. That's got to bring up some type of questions at the motherfucking air training base.
But what kind of questions? Because think about it like this. Okay, you start going for airplane training. That's not. You make it through the courses to where you can take off. You make it through the courses where you can get into fly. You're doing the simulator. You never actually flown a plane yet, but you're in the middle of the courses. The job comes up. Now you go in to this plane as a regular citizen, just flying to go like on vacation or whatever. And now you take over the plane so you can fly it when you're in the air. Like it's not. What's going to raise a red flag about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just a person
like
taking a vacation in the middle of their training courses or whatever. You know, I'll be back next week to finish. Like, so again, when you're planning stuff out like that, like exactly buying the passports, it's not. Think about movies like Ocean's 11 and stuff. And Joe's like, movies don't happen and blah, blah, blah. But look, 9/11 is a perfect example of like people that plan out things like that. There's a lot of documentaries of people that got away with jewel heists. This, that, like it doesn't always happen. The movies are more rare for things like that, but they do happen. There are people that do get away with things, that do make these crazy plans, and like they're all sophisticated. Yeah, exactly. And it gets done and it gets pulled off. So it is possible. You know what I mean? So again, all those people that were involved in that, they were all well paid. Great actors, you know, like all that stuff. Like they had clean freaking records and stuff before this, so there was no red flags. They had, you know, like those people, like, oh, they're 19 terrorists now after the fact, but before that day, they were on no terrorist database. They were nothing. They were just regular civilians that were learning whatever because they were planning this for so long.
It's fucking crazy, man.
I want to do this because we were already going for a minute.
Go
and
for
I did
it.
not to do the Frankopedia. So the 9/11 inside job was the multiple attacks made on the U.S. by terrorists using hijacked aircrafts on September 11, 2001. They've attracted a lot of conspiracy theorists. These theories may include references to missile and hologram technology, which I will get into in a second. But by far the most common theory is that the attacks, in fact, are controlled demolitions, a theory that's been rejected by the engineering profession and the 9/11 Commission. Now, what that means
took
is
a long time for that to come out, by the way. The 9/11 Commission, that took a fucking long time. I mean,
it was a lot of stuff to go.
I get it, but like,
and, you know, analyze. I get it, but still. So to me, the missile and the hologram thing, like I said, from my dad with the pictures to all the New Yorkers that were standing there and actually saw this, like, I'm sorry, like, I know what you're gonna say, like hologram, but to me, that's just not even. That's just one of those way left theories that make the conspiracy theories sound a little crazy. And I think that it's easy for people to believe that because if you're talking about the whole country or the whole world or whatever, only the people in New York saw firsthand. Anybody else could be saying, oh, it was something on the screen, it was something this, it was whatever, it was not real. So it is easier for the majority of people to think that it was a hologram or missile or something like that. But the theory really does mean just that our government either controlled this, whether it was by plane, by bombs, whatever, but that we were actually the cause of it behind closed doors. And
right.
yeah.
So let me get into this hologram thing real quick. You remember a little while back, 2009, 2010, maybe 11, give or take, maybe a little bit after that, there was a concert with a hologram Tupac and a hologram Michael Jackson. Not together, they were separate, but there was a hologram of this stuff. And everybody said that it looked just like he was there. I've seen video of it. It's fucking, it's crazy how good it looks. Now, when I say hologram, there's 3D animation virtual reality that looks so real. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing. And there's, I forgot the YouTube video. I did see it one time. It wasn't in New York City. It was another big city. It might have been Tokyo or something like that. It was at a car dealership, and the car was on like this third floor, maybe, or the second floor. And a Cyclops monster, like an animated monster, comes out of it, breaks the building, comes out of the building, grabs the car, and then peeks his head out with his one eye and looks around the street, and then swallows the car. This is a hologram. We don't know, that didn't really happen. But the same thing with Magic Kingdom. When you go to Disney, they have a hologram projected onto the castle, and you see the castle being built up by Legos and then being broken down by like some other stuff and turns into pixie dust. You know, it's possible to have had that. Now, in 2001, projecting this point, don't shake your head. I'm not finished. I didn't answer the question.
But I can't wait till you finish because I'm going to debunk this.
Okay.
Can I just cut you off for 1 second?
No. Just remember this, because this is the last thing I'm going to say. I watched more YouTube videos about it, and when they did the video of 9/11 on the news, it could look like it was green screen and the hologram went through the building, but the shadow of the other wing didn't line up with the plane. And they looked into it, and it was computer 3D rendered and gone like over and over again. And the way the reflection was hitting and the shadow, whatever the case was, it looked like it went through the building and then the building blew up.
Okay.
So that is what kind of got me thinking, holy shit, could this be a possibility? I'm not like, dude, you know, I'm about theories, but I'm not like gung-ho about some wild shit. I do believe anything's possible, but it just looked pretty appealing.
To create a hologram, you have to have 4.
Like Mysterio in Spider-Man.
Yes, but see, in Spider-Man, they did it with like the
drones,
and like it was different. That still wasn't realistic. A real hologram, like how you make a real hologram right now, like if you look up how do you make a hologram, it'll show you.
Can we do a science project about this? How do we make a hologram?
The picture is like a phone, and then it's 4 pieces of glass that are kind of like shaped of like the bottom of a diamond. So it's kind of like into a square with the angles. And then the hologram appears in the middle. It's because it needs the 4 sides of reflective for the laser, because it has to use a laser to use a hologram.
Lasers.
And that's how the light stabilizes and like you can have the image shown.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do that, like with Michael Jackson or something that's the size of a person on a stage, it's because the stage was bigger than him, and they can actually do that. They can have things like that, mirrors and stuff and glass
I see what you're saying.
Where the areas they need to where they can make him move, they can make him do the certain things. Same thing for the other stuff. Even in Disney, talking about inside the buildings, the person compared to a big building, there's a lot of room there. You're talking about a building.
The sky.
I'm saying exactly the sky, a building that's up there like that, and a plane that's, I mean, in width,
smaller
bigger than the building. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking about the length of how the plane was to the width of the building, it was bigger. Obviously,
the plane was bigger than the building.
Well, I'm saying like from the length to the nose to the tail of the plane compared to the width of the building, the plane was bigger.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. You saw the nose come out of the building as the tail, like you saw it going through the whole thing.
Oh, you're saying the length of the plane. When you said width, I'm thinking wingspan to wingspan.
That's what I'm saying. So like if the building's going up and down, that's
the length.
So, exactly. So like the nose would have came out the building before the tail was going in. You know, that's what I mean. So it's longer.
Okay.
So the plane is bigger than the surface area of the building up in that area where it was. Not the whole building, but just in that area where it was. So how are you going to have that? How are you going to have all of that there to produce that image and then have an explosion?
The explosion controlled demolition.
no, but and then not have any remnants of any of that stuff that produced the hologram there. Like,
But then think about it,
to me,
bro.
that's just no way. No way. Plus, again, like I said, how many millions of people in New York saw that shit?
But dude, there was no evidence of a fucking plane. Everything. They said everything was burned by jet fuel. It melted steel beams and shit. Another thing, if you watch videos on YouTube,
I mean, well,
it
think
shows
about
the
it.
building
In a fire,
collapsing.
the hottest part of the fire is where the most damage is. So if the jet fuel is where the source was inside the fucking plane, the hottest part of the fire in the building had to be where the plane was, which means, yeah, that would get the most damage. It would disintegrate the most. You know what I mean? If you have a fire pit and in the very center where the red hot is, you throw something in there, that shit's fucking toast. It's gone. But if you put the same type of object on the outside of the fire, it's going to burn,
That makes
but not fully
sense.
be gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like in the fire, in the hottest part, in the dead center of the fire where the jet fuel was being burned, yeah, it makes sense for the plane to be fucking disintegrated.
I feel, well,
fucking cremated.
Yeah, but dude, fucking steel. I don't know, man. So
steel gets melted all the time. How do you think they make swords?
I know,
and
but
shit?
I know. Motherfucker said swords and shit.
I'm just saying, forge.
You could have said like ships and boats. See what motherfucker went with swords? You
Well,
blacksmith
because I was
now?
thinking like forge of fire.
Yeah.
I really want to get a forge. I do. When we move to Pennsylvania, I would love to eventually get a forge and try and like learn how to make some knives and stuff. I think that's such a
Ting,
cool hobby.
ting,
Yeah, dude.
ting.
Be ripped and all like. I don't know.
Like Iron Man when he makes his first fucking. So
yeah.
I watch these videos and it shows the buildings collapse, right? And it's fucking chilling, bro. It's
that I'll agree with you, because like when you see some of the casinos that they implode like purposely in Vegas
Yeah.
before they build new ones, and the way it like
it's
perfectly
controlled
falls,
demolition.
I will say that the building did happen to just fall like completely perfectly. But that's where I think like, is there like a
But you
safety
see it
precaution
in
of
the
if something
videos,
comes in like
dude.
that they could like blow the bottom? Like do we
That
have
had to
ready
be planted there.
I
That had
don't
to be
know.
planted there. And why would they have live bombs in a
No,
building?
I know, I was kidding.
You know,
But no,
I feel
I-
you, but
I don't,
like you'll see, it's like do. So
I mean,
they
that could have just
explode,
been the luck of how
and then
whatever
it just
happened.
falls. The
I mean, we
luck.
don't- yeah, I mean, there are certain times where like the luck of, oh my God, I can't believe I made that bottle in that cup. Oh my God, you know what I mean? Like it happens.
Yeah,
So like,
and
oh
the
my
one
God, the way
time-
that, yeah, exactly. But the way that
One
this
and
happened to
only
blow,
time.
oh my God, this was the probability of this, and it did happen. There is a chance of it happening.
So what are you saying? You're saying
I'm
that
saying that
it
I don't
was
think
controlled
it was controlled. No, I don't think it was controlled.
where
I
do
think the
these
building just happened to
explosions-
fall perfectly like that? But I will say, I agree. If you look at videos of other imploding buildings that we did, it did look similar to that. I will say
it looked
that.
identical. Look it up. You'll see it. Well, identical. I mean, it's just there's some other shit going on because we got both those buildings are on fire and then they collapse. And building 7 collapsed. Why did building 7 collapse? There was a lot of FBI files and CIA files in that building. That was headquarters to a lot of places. That wasn't hit by a plane. What happened to that building? It just got so hot outside that it was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck this. I'm out too. They said it collapsed due to fire. How?
Could have.
They had
pieces. A
and
building that's
massive
so
amounts
tall.
of files and reports from the
I'm saying
government.
building 7 wasn't as tall as the other buildings, right? So you have
No.
big pieces of fucking flaming debris falling down and hit the building. It could catch another building on fire. It happens. Bro, I left a little fucking match lit on the fucking top of my dad's safe, and it caught the whole fucking cabinet in the basement. I had to put out an actual fire in the basement 2 weeks ago. Can't believe I just said that, but it happened. It did. It fucking happened. It was an accident, a weird chance
the
of
firefighter
probability.
now.
But fire starter. But no. The fire starter. No, but seriously. So it does.
Yeah,
happen.
it gets the fire started.
So like it
But,
could
dude,
have
this
happened
is
like
the
that to
first
where
and only building to collapse solely from fire ever.
that doesn't mean that it can't happen just because it's the only time.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
The odds are
like it.
stacked against the other times, but it doesn't mean that it's not able for it to happen that way. You know what I mean? Plane goes in, boom. All the pieces start falling down. All this flaming gas and all this stuff comes pouring out from this explosion, every which different way. It happens to land on building 7 of all things.
The only building though. I don't know, man.
What
I feel
happens?
you. So the similar situation happened to the Pentagon. What's up?
Well, no, I was gonna say, so now that's just one theory. Playing devil's advocate now. I watch a lot of like Blacklist and Law and Order and like things like that and stuff. In Blacklist, you see them happen to get a lot of tip-offs of things literally minutes right before something happens.
Right.
You're the FBI, you're the CIA. You got so many secrets that can't get out to the public because it'll cause havoc and this and that, you know, things that you guys have done to maybe out of the best interest, maybe not, maybe some things were covered up, maybe somewhere, whatever. But whatever it is, those secrets can just not get out to the everyday public people because they would not understand because they were in those situations. And
okay,
everybody's a fucking emotional queen nowadays.
Yes.
But so now, what are you going to do in that moment? Oh, I just found out it's going to happen in like 5 minutes. What are we going to do?
You know what?
Let's blow up this other building and make it look like it's connected. We can't stop this terrorist attack. They're already in the air. They're 3 minutes from the building. It's going to happen. What are we going to do to save ourselves to make the best of this situation? That could have been something too. And that could have been why Building 7 was then included with all those files and all this stuff.
You know what's crazy? So I saw this media report from London. I think it was UK.
You sound like you're from London.
And in the report, it shows the lady saying there was a live feed from one of the helicopters on 9/11 filming the building on fire. The reporter said, and now we just found the collapse of Building 7 as well. The building didn't collapse until 30 minutes later. It still had the building standing while she was giving the report. How the fuck did they know?
Well, it could have not been visually collapsed from the outside, but it could have been starting to collapse on the inside. Things could have been weakened.
How are they going to know if it's on the inside? There's nobody on the inside.
What if people were inside calling 911? Oh my God, something just happened to my building. Blah, blah, blah. The building is collapsing, or you know what I mean? I don't know. Again, could have been false news, but it could have been coming from something that was happening. There was so much panic going on in that second. So many different people, so many different calls, so many different everything that, yeah, things could have gotten. I mean,
we don't know.
We don't know. And that's the thing is we could talk about this all day. We'll never know.
No,
we'll never know. I don't care if Maxwell released every person that she knew was dirty and they released every person that they knew was dirty, and so on and so on and so on. It don't matter. We'd still never know. You'll never know.
It just, you know what else fucks me up though, and why I think so much it's an inside job is because the government profited from this so much. And even in
you mean like they profited from COVID?
Yes, 100%. And there was tons of warnings about terrorist threats from months before that. Even beyond all these warnings, they were receiving classified documents that were preparing the CIA for plans to attack the U.S. soil, and they never did nothing about it. On top of that,
some of the most
what I was going to say, people. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, some of the most richest people make the most money in the worst moments.
Of course.
So like in the most terrible times or moments or whatever, stock market's crashing. There's a lot of companies there's a lot of companies that make money when the stock market crashes. Things go down. Yeah. I forget what it's called, but it's called something. So like some of these companies, like they're waiting for this stock to go down, and they're going to make money on the up because as it's going down, they have enough money to cover them to buy more while it's going down. And then they wait for that incline. And now they have double the amount they had while it was going down. So all they need is for it to go up half of what it went down for them to just make back whatever. So there's so like how they say it takes money to make money. It's so true on that giant scale. Once you have a certain amount of money, you can just stay wealthy.
That's the truth.
You can
done fucked up.
If you're wealthy enough, you can go to the casino and just be fine every day because you could just outbet the odds no matter what. You can go to roulette and bet 12 numbers every hand, and it doesn't have to hit every hand. But if you hit once out of 12 times, guess what? You're breaking even. You hit twice out of 12 times, you're fucking making money. So if you could sit there and play 100 hands and you have enough money to back you up, guess what? You're going to still walk out of there with profit no matter what. And that's what these things are. Like they always turn every negative situation into a profit because at the end of the day, they still have to worry about the good financial good of the country. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know, the inside job thing, like Yeah, it makes sense. Don't get me wrong. It makes sense. Could we plan something to make money? We're in a drought. We're in a recession. We're in all these things. There was a lot of stuff going on like that at that time. It makes sense. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't think it was what happened.
I also know. All right. So, but then when Bush was in the classroom reading a fucking book to the kids and he was told what had just happened, he continued to read the book. Like, your fucking country just got attacked and you're going to continue to read The Cat in the Hat? Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, that just happened. The two, that sounds so fucked up to say though. I would say the 2 minutes for you to finish the kid's like book, is it really?
Oh, okay. I feel
like, is it really going to change anything? You know what I mean? But if you leave, those kids are going to be like, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good reason. It's a great reason. But like, I don't know. I don't necessarily see a problem with that. Like, really, what was he going to do in the extra 2 minutes?
I don't know. Maybe command some people to do shit about it.
I mean, honestly,
I don't know, man.
If I was the fucking Air Force at that point, like, do I really need to wait for the president's go when there's a plane going through?
You do.
Fire me. I'm the general fucking giving that order. Go. Whatever. Do whatever you gotta do to me after. Put me in I'm saving, or not saving the country, because at that point again, they're in there. But yeah, dude, you blow up that plane before it hits the building and kills more people.
So there's a question. Why were the hijacked planes not shot down?
Because they didn't want to kill innocent civilians.
But
they didn't know where they were going to go.
Right.
Like, you know, they may know the destination was in New York to JFK or to Newark or wherever it was supposed to go, but they don't know that it was going to the plane.
Though, at all. None. Over an hour between both planes. There was an hour between both planes collapsing, and there was no scramble, nothing like that.
Wasn't it only I thought it was like 7 minutes or something like that.
No, it was longer than that.
For the
I don't know if it was a full hour. To be honest with you, it might have been like 45 minutes, whatever the case is. But one group of fighter jets was scrambled, set out to sea instead of towards the incident.
Yes, dude, that's crazy. The second plane should have been taken down. As soon as the first one came in, you take down the second.
You got to be on guard.
All the civilians and like everything, but you have to do that for the good of the country. Like, that's just my opinion. I don't know. But then again, this is why people like us aren't allowed to know that information. That's why I said, like, the public information, the private information that can't be released to the public. It's because we don't understand all those moves. Like, we're not.
But it should still be released to us.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, like, because certain things like that,
our
files,
decision.
They're classified because
Classified why though? Classified why?
Because like you may say, or I might say, yeah, we shoot that down. But then 100,000 other people might say, no, you don't. And then they outweigh us. And what are you going to do? You're going to listen to them and you're going to not shoot it down because they were more softer side or emotional or whatever it was. Like, it depends. Like, and certain things like that, it takes a hard person to make certain judgments like that. It really does.
It does.
So I don't know, man. I mean, and that's the craziest part about our country, about our democracy and all stuff. Like, we put it into one person to make these decisions, and that person could be the person like me or you, or they could be someone like Tanat. And that's why we, at the end of the day, when they make a decision, we have people that agree with them, and we have people like us that are like, no, they should have done this, they should have. So, but that's why we can't be released all that information, because exactly everything would be a fight. Think about how much stuff we debate over right now publicly.
Yeah.
You want more information to be released to us to fight over? Think about the stuff that we're divided over.
But when you have 3,000 Americans lose their lives, the rest of America deserves an answer.
How many people live in America?
7.8. I don't know. I don't think there's 7.8 billion people on the planet.
That's what it says. 8 billion people on the planet. So let's call it roughly like 3 million maybe in America.
Okay.
5 million in America, right? Or something like that. It's got to be more than that, obviously. It's got to be like
Siri,
100 million.
How many people live in the United States?
As of 2021, the population of the United States of America was 332,278,200.
So 330 million people.
Yeah.
3,000 people. I'm sorry, everyone, but when you're talking about 300 million people, 3,000 people is less than 1%.
Okay, but then let's think about the 13 soldiers that were left in Afghanistan with President Biden. How that affected America.
Okay, but that was a different situation. You're talking about 3,000 people that, again, was a terrorist attack compared to 13 people that were left there from a decision. Two totally different things. I'm saying it in the sense of like, because you were like, yeah, but 3,000 people, okay, I get what you're saying. But again, these hard decisions of not shooting down civilian thing, or this, how bad would it look if we shot down our own plane with civilians on it to stop it from hitting a building to hurt 3,000 people when we have 330 million people in the country? We're going to take
Okay.
down some of our
Valid
own.
point, but
So I'm just,
that's
all
similar
of my
to
point
saying,
is we are not suitable to know all that information. We that stuff should not be public. There is a reason that things are classified.
all right, that I'll agree with you on the last part, like there being a reason that it's classified. The other stuff, I don't know. But what I was going to say is there's like an old saying, or not an old saying, I should say, but it's, I guess, a way that kings used to rule. And it was like, will you kill one child to save 50? And then would you kill 50 children to save one child? You know, it's a difficult decision to make. And I could see that. Sometimes things have to be done. I get it. But I also, so there was something else that I read. I don't know much about this, but
Wait, on
what's
that
up?
point is exactly like some people believe that things are just black and white, meaning that yes, it's just one way or the other. It's either right or it's wrong. Other people believe that there are variables that make a situation different.
Yeah.
So like it's not just black and white. There are different variables. What is the situation? What is this? What are some people will ask other questions, whereas other people could just make a decision based off of what you just said.
I guess, yeah.
So it really depends on the person.
It depends on the situation and the person. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I don't look, if it came down to it, like, could you kill one to save 10 or kill 10
One
to
to
save
s-
one?
1 to save 10, yes. 10 to save 1, no, I don't think so. Just me as a person, no.
Okay. The next thing I'm going to say, I don't know much about, but I know that there was some type of like a cover up as far as money goes. I'm just going to read the facts that I have here. I'll get into some of it, but I really don't know much about it. But there was $1 trillion cover up on September 10th. The Secretary of Defense claimed war on the Pentagon bureaucracy. Money was never truly lost, but it was untracked to complex accountability system. So 25% of military spending went unfounded, and they wasted $2.3 trillion.
Sounded like that was the
And the
scam for
Department
them
of
to
Defense.
reallocate funds without them having to explain why.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, oh, something got messed up in whatever funding for so long. How are we going to explain this? Well, we have to figure out how to cover this up.
This is also similar with COVID there, where Biden did this whole package of like a relief fund. And like, where's all that money now? They can't account for it. They don't know where it's going. And some of this money is going to other countries and other places for other reasons besides COVID,
a lot of that, because like even though we say we're broke, we still have money on hand. You know what I mean? We print money. So like if we just print more money, it just puts us more in debt in that sense because we have to
inflation.
But no. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying like because exactly the more money they make, the less in value it is, and the more that we're gonna owe from just whatever. So, but anyway, the gas going up, wood going up, groceries going up, takeout, everything's going up, dude. Even my uncles, they own the pizza shop. Everything they're buying, ranch dressing went up like $30 a case, like this and that. Everything is going up, dude. Like, so
crazy.
It's just in the sense of, so that money was on hand to give to those people, but now we have to make it back and some. So that's why everything is going up now lately. You know what I mean? That's how in the moment we handled it. We took care of what we needed to, but now we have to make that back somehow. We have to do whatever. And that's why like him leaving the stuff, he was like, oh, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with him leaving the people.
Oh, Biden leaving all the military equipment.
I would say the people and the equipment, but
I don't think it was Afghanistan, right? It wasn't Afghanistan.
I don't remember where exactly, but him leaving the equipment to him was more of a money saving move than the amount that it was cost to take it out. Like whatever. Some people
Right, but now you just leave them with all of this equipment.
Some people disagree with that for other reasons, whatever. But
like
in the midst of COVID and how broke we were and how we're thinking about making back the money, that's not, again, we don't know to make that decision. We're not high up. We don't make those decisions regularly. We don't know about all the variables that come with it. If we do take it back, what that causes, how much it's going to cost us. Well, now we have to try even harder for this. So now people are going to freak out even more that gas is going to go up even higher or this and that. All the things are a chain reaction. So
we're fucked.
Yeah. I mean, for a while, things have to get worse before they can get better, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Without bad, there isn't good, you know, like that. That's That's one of my favorite things. I'm sorry, I was listening, and I'm sorry to change kind of subjects here a little bit, but I was listening to the 50 Cent song the other day, Many Men, and he says he says death gotta be easy because life is hard. And it's so true, like good, evil, light, dark. Everything has to have one of the. And if you think about it, like life, it is with the stress of everything is just so hard that it has to be easier on the other side. That's just, I truly do believe that. But to get back, I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
My head but yeah. So for every good, like it has to get worse for it to get better. We went through so many bad things as a country before, and things have gotten better. This is probably the worst in the sense of those bad things that we've had to live through in like our, or maybe even our parents' generation. But I mean, we don't really know even for our parents, because there's a lot of things that they could probably tell you when they were younger, things that were so bad, but it gets better. It's the roller coaster that we're on, you know?
It just keeps getting to like a bigger degree. You know, like the 70s was like Son of Sam. And if you lived in Brooklyn, you got to be careful because there's a fucking serial killer on the loose. You know, 80s was like the AIDS 70s, epidemic and shit like that.
Think about before the 70s, like World War II, World War I. Like at least we've never had to live through something like that. That was probably worse than anything with 9/11 or with any of that stuff. I wouldn't want to live through World War II. Are you kidding me?
No,
that's fucking crazy. Could you imagine Pearl Harbor?
It's fucked up.
So I mean, yeah, man. I don't know if we've necessarily had the worst, but we've had it
right.
We've had some bad stuff, you know. But that's exactly it, because it has to be bad for good. No matter what, there's always going to be bad stuff that happens. It's what
there's
makes
always going to be good stuff that comes from it. You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
After every hurricane comes a rainbow.
Aw, did you just quote Dr. Seuss or Barney?
I forget who says that, but that is something from something too.
So I'm going to tell you now my main reason why I think that 9/11 was an inside job. Okay. Besides, you know, the stocks going down and people withdrawing money and making money off of it because of all the collapse of companies, I think that it was a false flag operation. And this was a movement to project the 2000s into the direction of where they needed to go. You know,
you mean like to like with COVID and like martial law stuff and like that type of
in a sense, like New World Order type of stuff, secret government, things of that sort.
Well, because you heard about Canada now, right?
Canada is under like a dictatorship.
Martial law is in effect in Canada, and like and the whole thing with their leader is exactly now dictatorship. Dude, that's our biggest border.
Dude, that's part of our land. There's no sea dividing that. Hashtag Joe, where you at?
They are
it's really happening.
And they say a lot of things that happen like that in Canada slowly follow to us. And it's just crazy to think about, man. Like this is the second country now. Well, we talked about Australia and now Canada. This is the second country that shit like this is happening. Like that I could see with you. Like now you're getting me on board a little bit because no, but I'm serious.
I feel you.
I believe it in the sense of long-term plans, testing the waters to having control. How can we change America from being a democracy? Like how can we, you know, like control people and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
It's too crazy. Close for comfort. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel you on that.
100%. That's perfect way to put it.
I do think that it was an inside job to project the next couple of years into what they wanted to do, which was invade the Middle East for oil. You know, think about it. Terrorists attack America. America retaliates and we invade Afghanistan for oil. The BBC reports talking about Building 7 collapsing while Building 7 is still standing. Didn't collapse till 30 minutes later. That actually had nothing to do with it. I don't know why I said that part. But it's like we invade. The news tells us one thing when something else happens. They distract us from something. And then what happens? We go in for oil. And now we have bases in Afghanistan. And we're based up. You know, we could control that country or whatever needs to happen. But then again, on retaliation, they're going to continue to attack us. We had the anthrax scare, not so much after that, you know, we're still there. Why are we still there?
I know like you're bringing up a lot of things that have happened and stuff like that. Like, but here's my biggest thing. Like, you know how me and you always talk about subliminal messaging and things being under the radar and stuff like that. So
symbolism,
like, gun control.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. Ready for this? A lot of people don't believe in guns. I get that. Totally understandable. 100 people are in a bank. 10 people are in a bank. Doing their normal banking thing, somebody walks in with a gun, points the gun up in the air and says, everybody get down on the floor. Everybody's getting down on the floor. In a world where everyone has a gun, That same guy walks into the bank.
He's
Everyone
not
get
pulling
down.
his gun.
I'll say, everyone get down. 10 guns are pointed back at him. No, you get down. Gun control is not about guns. It's about control. And that's the biggest thing. Like, it is. It's about them controlling what we can and can't
Dude, it's our Second Amendment. Second Amendment, I believe.
Mhm.
It's our Second Amendment. There's right to bear arms. And the reason why that's an amendment is because we've had the government try to control us in the past, and we have to stand up for
wrongfully and have to stand up. And that is exactly why that's there. But it's been so long ago that things like that have happened, and that's part of the long-term plan. Think about it. We have to control things in a long term. We have to have fear. We have to have things like terrorist attacks. We have to have things like cyber scares. We have to have all these things. Every decade, we have a different, oh, we're scared of Y2K. Oh, we're scared of this. Oh, everybody's scared of something.
Ebola.
They keep giving us fearful things to control us little by little while controlling the gun laws, while having, like, it's all part of a larger plan. And then you have, since so long that we've had to use the Second Amendment, that now you have people that are so soft. I'm sorry, as a country, we have just become so fucking soft. 90% of people are more softer than they used to be. And yeah, dude. So what do you think is going to happen? Now they're like,
well, we don't need guns.
We don't use guns. I don't believe in violence. Okay, well, what's going to happen the day that something happens where they're just coming through the streets and they're taking over and they're like, okay, listen or don't. And now more of us don't have guns than do because we didn't believe in it, because we wanted to be nice about each other's feelings.
What else is fucked up, what you mentioned about the bank robbery before, is people who have guns illegally are going to still get guns illegally. You're not stopping the bad people from having guns. You're stopping the good people from having guns. Mm-hmm. If you're going to sit there and be like, you can't have a gun, even though it's my right to bear arms, and you're going to take this away, now when some shit happens and my family gets hurt or friends get hurt, it's because you prevented me from protecting my family.
And in the past, the argument for that was, well, if there's less guns available for people legally, there's less guns available for people illegally, because the gun has to be produced before anyone could buy it, whether it's legally or illegally. But now in 2022, we got these fucking plastic guns that these dudes are making on 3D printers.
And 3D printers?
I forgot what they're called, but I forget what they're called, but there's
Ghost guns.
Ghost gun, exactly. No serial number, printed off of a fucking 3D printer, shoots real bullets, shoots like a real fucking gun, untraceable. What are you gonna do now?
It's crazy.
That's not
you
even
can
an
order
argument
parts
anymore.
separately and put them together.
Dude, these kids are printing them and just ordering them as, like, you know how you would buy a model car back in the day and it would be like the cover and all the pieces that you just put together? That's how they're doing it. They're sending you the gun in pieces. They print all the 3D things in pieces, and then it comes with instructions on how to put it together. And then you got to go buy bullets that fit for it.
I just feel like that was there was more to it than just a terrorist attack. You know, it's about control, just like COVID, but not to keep comparing. 9/11 was a big scare. It was home ground. It's in our backyard. You know, I saw the smoke. It's crazy how you could smell the smell. It's fucked up, you know? And I just think that there was a different reason for it to happen. And let's say they could have prevented it. Do you think that they would have if they knew? I mean, they were getting
even if they're talking about an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 people compared to 300 million, maybe not. They might have not thought that was worth it. Like you said, is it worth it to save one life for 10 or vice versa or whatever? In that situation, maybe they thought that it wasn't. Like I said, maybe they heard that it was going to happen and were like, hey, let's cover up and use this to our advantage, and we could take this to get rid of all those files we had to in Building 7 and blah blah blah. Who knows? Maybe it was something like that. There's
unanswered questions. There's documentaries about it. There's a whole bunch of shit. You know, I don't know, man. A lot of people, the Bush administration, the Clinton administration, they profited from this shit. They wanted it to go into this direction.
Just because you're a vicious person that can make money in a desperate time or a terrible time doesn't mean that you were the cause or that you were, you know what I mean? So just because those people made money and whatever, they could have seen an opportunity.
You're right, but they profited from it.
That makes them terrible.
From someone else's death, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That makes them terrible people, but it doesn't make them the cause or doesn't make them the, you know what I mean, to blame. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I feel you on that. I don't know, man. It's too crazy. Yeah. It's just too crazy. And I think that there's more to it. You've seen YouTube clips or video clips, you see firefighters outside their station. They're saying, like, we were gonna go in, but we saw it collapse like a fucking demolition. It was a boom, 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 and then everything collapsed. There's video of that. There's phone video of that. There's actual camera footage of it. And it's too much for me to think that a plane melted 3 buildings when 2 of them only hit 2 buildings. And then the Pentagon too. Same thing with that. They say it crashed into that area of, I don't really know much about the Pentagon part, but they said that it was more of a small plane, I think. Like, oh, no, wait. Was it a small plane? What happened to United? Oh, United 93 was a different one, right? That was the one that crashed into a field because they tried to overthrow the terrorists. That was United 93. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing is just, it's fishy to me. I'll always be skeptical about it. There's things that I believe, things I don't believe. The hologram thing, to be honest, I don't really believe in it, but I've seen enough stuff where I'm like, wow, that's crazy. If that was that was true, then the government's really out to fuck us. They're going to make a hologram below a building.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Some people are skeptical about it. My cousin is really skeptical about it. He did crazy story. I'll finish with this actually. He was so, what's the word I'm looking for? He was so committed to finding out the truth about it that, and this is going to sound fetched, bro. This might be where I get it from. He's my second cousin. So it's my mom's cousin's cousin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My mom's cousin's cousin, whatever the case is. He was doing research on research about it, that his computer supposedly got a virus, which he built himself with his own antivirus system. His computer got a virus. Whatever it was. The fucking FBI showed up at his house. I don't remember. He never told me in details what happened, but he's like, I had to wipe my hard drive, and like all the shit that he was researching and stuff, they wiped it all because they were monitoring his stuff. He was like, I don't want to say a target, but they were going through a search.
Close to finding out something that they didn't want him to find out.
It's crazy. And like,
because think about it, even in things like that with movies and TV shows, right?
Yeah.
You ever watch Outer Banks? Like anytime he gets close to something and somebody that's been following it longer than him swoops in and they're like, that shit happens.
It does.
That shit happen. He could have been close to finding out something they didn't want him to find out. And they were like, no, we got to shut this shit down. Shut this down.
He didn't really get into much when we were talking about, I think I might've been like 18 at the time, maybe 17.
It was made roughly, him sign an NDA.
Whatever the case was, he didn't tell me about it.
They wiped his hard drive. They could have made him sign an NDA and been like, listen, if you talk about this to anybody, we'll sue you or lock you up or whatever it is.
So it was just crazy. That was too close to home where I was like, wow, my cousin's cousin, I see him on Christmas. And some shit. I don't know, man. Shit was wild. But whatever it is, I hope all those souls that were lost are resting peacefully. I've known people who are directly.
So, all right, can I, not to fuck your mood up for saying that or anything, but to people that don't believe in this, sorry, we're almost done. You can cut it now if you want to. But to people that do believe in this, I strongly believe in paranormal stuff. My wife's mom was gifted. She knew things, saw things, had dreams before things happened.
Premonitions.
Like, I guess you can call it that, but like just more like feelings to her or like whatever, like, and could guess things that would happen all the time. Like, meaning that I know for a fact there was times that when I was there that she's called out things that ended up happening or whatever it was. Karen took her after they opened the memorial, when they had the thing open with all the names and everything. She took her out to the city.
Open? What are you talking about?
Like they had the memorial where the towers are. Like you can go there now. Like there's the waterfall. Memorial. Yeah, they're not. There you go. The 9/11 memorial. She went there with her mom in the city, and her mom got out of the car and just started crying, like hysterically crying. And they got back in the car, and she was like, "What's the matter?" And she said, like, they all just don't know where to go. Like that there was just so many wandering people that just don't know where to go, that have unfinished business, that whatever it is, that just. She just felt so many people around that it was just too much to bear or be there in that moment that she had to leave. And I'm sorry to say that, like, because I know a lot of people don't want to hear that either or like anything, but like, I truly believe in this stuff. I truly believe her mom because I know for a fact, like I said, things that have
know her
in the past.
firsthand.
And it's so heartbreaking, man. It's so
It really
heartbreaking
is.
because like exactly that's the one thing you always hope or wish for. Or so to me, I say is I hope that all those souls find their place of rest or get to where they need to go.
Yeah. I hope they rest peacefully. And for everyone who's been touched by this directly or indirectly, we're not a hotline that someone can call and vent to, but we are here for you. You know, I'll throw that out there, message us and be like, yo, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Tell
We
us
just like-
how did 9/11 impact you? You know,
Yeah.
like I honestly, I would love to hear some other people's stories. I could do an episode on talking about someone else's story about how it impacted them and things like I could because
It's difficult
this
for
is
people
something-
to listen to and talk about. We understand,
well,
but
yeah, and this is something that's affected so many different
Yeah.
people in so many different ways that like how it affected us, somebody else could be totally different, have a different story
Mhm.
for us, you know? So
that's true.
yeah.
So on that note, ladies
don't
and
do it yet.
gentlemen,
I got one thing I want to say that's unrelated to the topic. So while we were
Okay.
just recording, my cousin just texted me. I got to give him a shout out real quick.
shout him out.
My cousin Tino has been trying to be a
Tino.
gamer for a while now. I want to
video
say like
gamer?
close to like 2 years. He's really good at Fortnite, Call of Duty, like all those shooting games and stuff. My man got a contract a couple months ago to play on some team for some like thing. So he's doing tournaments now, and,
Get the
and
fuck
he's
outta
he's
here.
getting official. He started a Twitch account so you could watch him play and stream.
Okay.
His name is Whiffs on YT. So like Whiffs on YouTube. So it's WHIFFSONYT. He just hit 600 followers on his
Dude.
Twitch.
That's what's
And
up.
I'm sorry, like I get it because a lot of people would be like, oh, 600 followers isn't that much because of like TikTok and things like that. On Twitch, on a podcast, on things like that, when you have long clips or like it's harder to get followers on things like that. So
Yes, because they don't
Good-
have a lot of like
well, the TikToks are quick clips, or it's easier to hit the plus sign on accident. Like there's certain things that like, yeah, you get follows easier. So it's easier to like get more. YouTube, podcasting, video gaming, like streaming is a lot harder to get followers and get a lot of consistent views than compared to like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, like stuff like that. It is just a different thing. So I have to say, man, I'm very proud of him for that. Congratulations to you, T.
congratulations, Tino.
Please, guys, if all you guys are on Twitch, go follow him, give him some support.
Check them out.
But yeah, now you can do it.
I'm actually, while we're on it, I'm gonna shout out my boy Chesney because he also has Twitch. Not to
Okay.
piggyback off Tino, but I don't know anybody else who has Twitch. So his Twitch name, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
What's your Twitch?
Your Twitch handle, I guess.
What's your a Twitch handle? Okay. It's Matt_Chez, MATT_CHEZ. Follow him. He plays Call of Duty, all that other stuff. I don't know. I don't fucking video game.
Follow
But I
them.
mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. But
No,
you know,
well, I have to say, like, he's good too. He just had a new montage that he posted on YouTube that had like a lot of good views and stuff, and it was dope. The guy that he had help him edit. I want to see if I can get this kid to help edit clips for us for the show, dude. He had like some cool effects and some
That's
cool
what's
stuff.
up.
I'm like, I gotta learn how to do some of this stuff better.
yo, if anybody listening knows how to do this stuff, hit us up, man.
Please give me some
That's
tips
it.
on the video editing and stuff.
Let's
please.
work on that.
Hell yeah. Or if anybody wants to help work on the show.
We're always hiring.
Yeah, man. All right, go ahead, do it, Ding.
Thank you for the likes, listens, shares, and follows. We appreciate all the support from our listeners, our fans, our family. Stay well out there. Enjoy yourselves.